Hello, this is Ken Ferrie with this week's Boots in the Field report. Wow, another crazy weather week here locally. Dust storms on Sunday and Monday shut down highways, cut off some crops, and buried others. Growers that could row their corn on Saturday saw it disappearing Sunday and Monday. Corn that got cut off at the ground is small enough that it'll come back all right. You'll see some crazy top in it this fall due to soil getting into the whirl. The corn and beans that got covered up on field edges, that's going to have to be replanted. Driving the roads by Farmer City Monday afternoon, I can understand why they closed Interstate 57 and Highway 136. That dirt moving was unreal. Soil blowing was a kind of a field-by-field situation. Fields with residue, so no-till, strip-till, cover crop fields, everything there stayed put. But man, the fields that were worked, no residue out there, it was blowing pretty badly. If your fields were participating in the great blow-off, it may be time to rethink your stewardship. Last year the great blow-off was May 16th. This year it's May 3rd and 4th. It happens every year here in Illinois since the fatal dust storm on May 8th in 2023, where 8 people were killed in a dust storm pileup on Interstate 55 by Springfield. And so it's no longer a matter of if we're going to have those high winds, low humidity days in May. We know they're coming, and we need to implement land stewardship to protect our soils and our neighbors. Before I give this morning's updates on our corn planting lights, I've been asked by some growers to go over again what they mean for their non-crop tech neighbors. Our red, yellow, green light system for planting has been developed for our customers over the last 30 years of doing service calls. Every year, we make service calls on tough stands, trying to help growers decide what to do with subpar stands that will produce lower than planned ear counts. Now, many times, there are slow rabbits to shoot, such as planter setup or operation. But almost every year, many stand problems are related to the planting date. Every year when we get to the fall, we know which days we should not have planted corn. With a high amount of accuracy, we can predict here at the office, by planting date, where most of our service calls are going to come from a month after planting. The first place to start, do you know what your stand and ear counts are normally? Here at CropTech, we push hard for our customers to have a pest boss and a pest team whose job is to protect the crop from all threats, insects, disease, weeds, you name it. One of the most important jobs of the pest team is to do stand counts and predicted ear counts, which are going to start a few weeks after planting. The first step is to get an emergence count. Count every plant that emerges and compare that to the planting rate. This should be within 95 to 100% of the planting rate. The next step is to assess the uniformity of all the plants that are out there. A plant that is more than one collar behind its neighbor will not put on a normal ear. Now, we can tell this already when corn is in, let's say, the 3-leaf stage. A 1-collar corn standing next to a 2.5-collar plant, it'll not put on a reputable ear. With new customers, when they don't believe this, early in the season, I flag those late emerging plants so they can reference them in the fall. And it only takes one growing season to teach this to them. For our customers, what we call a A+ rating is getting their ear count within 3% of their planted population, basically allowing the drop of 1 ear from their planted population. I've been told by many industry representatives that that is unrealistic. But at the same time, we have many customers who accomplish an A+ rating. They don't do it every year, and they don't do it on every field, but that is their goal. The main thing is that they know their emergence and ear counts from year to year. Many times with a new client who has never taken time to do stand versus ear counts in the past, they are surprised when they find out their ear counts are 10 to 15% off their planting population. So say they're planting 34,000 and getting 30,500 ear count. Now this ear loss is not detectable from the road in your pickup. It may not be detectable from the sprayer in the field. Now it is picked up by the pest teams who are actually using tapes and getting counts. If we can close this gap with a new customer, moving him from a C plus to an A plus in his ear count, we can pick up 15 to 20 bushel without increasing any cost. Maybe moving that field from 250 to 270 in the fall. Once customers know their ear count scores, it gives them a lot of leverage on what to do to improve it. Improving scores may be accomplished by adding planter attachments or zeroing in on planter settings. As I look at which growers more consistently hit that A+ rating on ear counts over the last 30 years, it's growers who have learned to plant corn by soil conditions, not the calendar. So to start out with, if you don't do stand versus ear counts now, and don't plan on doing them in the future, the whole red light, green light thing is probably not for you. I've been in too many fields that look great from the road, big, tall, green corn. But when you get to the field, the ear count is a C- at best. But if those 15 to 20 bushel have already been cooked into your yield goal expectations, ignorance is bliss and everything is honky-dory. The red light, green light system is something we developed for our customers over the last 30 years. Growers plant whenever they feel like, but the light system gives them guidance on what we see is the best windows to achieve an A+ ear count rating. Now, we look at the GFS and European models and try to predict local forecast for planting conditions. We have 3 factors that affect our signal lights. Too wet to get a good seed bed, too cold the first 24 hours after planting to cause seed chilling, soil's too cool to get corn out of the ground within 10 to 11 days. When the soil is too wet to get good furrow closure and seed to soil contact, we go to red. Rain forecasts are a lot spottier than temperature forecast. Every farmer has to evaluate this for each field on his own. If it's too wet, no matter what the soil temperature is, it's a red light. We don't mud corn in unless it's for insurance purposes. Now, each grower must assess the field and come up with his own, let's say, 80-20 rule, where 80% of the field is fit, but the other 20% isn't, usually due to drainage. And on April 1st, you'll probably wait for it. But on June 1st, you're going to plant that field. You won't let that 20% of wet ground dictate the other 80%. We issue a yellow light when one of the other factors is not met. If the current temperature will cause seed chilling, but it looks like the corn will be out of the ground in 10 days, we'll have a yellow light. If the current temperatures are warm enough not to cause seed chilling, but the forecast says it'll take more than 10 or 11 days to get enough GDUs to get this corn out of the ground, we'll go to a yellow light. When both conditions can't be met, we go to a red light, even if the ground is dry enough. Seed chilling happens in that first 12 to 24 hours the corn is in the ground. The seed will imbibe or absorb about 30% of its weight in water in that first 12 to 24 hours. The temperatures of the water the seed absorbs affect how the cells in the seed will respond. If the water imbibed is 50 degrees or higher, the cells will have elasticity, and as the seed swells, the cells don't tear. When soil gets down into the high 30s, mid 40s, the cell loses this elasticity and the cells can be torn as the seed swells. The effects of seed chilling show up in different ways. Sometimes the seed doesn't fire at all. Sometimes it produces a shoot with little or no roots. Sometimes it produces roots with no shoot. The more common one that farmers see is the shoot corkscrews below the ground. Many times seed chilling is blamed on herbicide damage or seed quality. While good seed quality is important to achieve an A+ ear rating, even seedlots with excellent quality are subject to seed chilling. Seed chilling mainly happens in that first 12 to 24 hours seed is in the ground. When doing service calls on seed chilling, you can literally tell the difference between fields that were planted in the morning compared to in the afternoon going into the cool night. That is why you'll see our lights change at noon some days, trying to get enough water absorbed before the soil temperature drops that next morning. The good thing about seed chilling is that corn very seldom makes it out of the ground. It doesn't end up being a weed. Typically, seed chilling will only affect about 7 to 10% of the stand. When the forecast indicates that it'll take more than 10 or 11 days to get corn out of the ground, we start to worry about the kernels that were planted spiked down. The kernels that are planted spiked down, when they germinate, the spike will have to circle the seed and head for the surface. This will add a 1/2 inch to 3/4 sometimes to the length of the coleoptile. This typically takes an additional day or two to emerge compared to plants that were planted spike up. Now, when you're picking up 15, 20 growing degree days a day, spike down kernels will emerge maybe 1 or 2 days later. Emerging 2 days later doesn't affect ear size as much because the plants are the same age. When it takes 15 days or more to get corn out of the ground, the spike down plants can be a week or 2 weeks behind the spike up plants. At that point, they will be more than a collar behind and not produce a regular ear. It may take 2 ears to equal 1, or you may not get an ear at all. In our plots, as we dig, about 25% of the kernels do end up spiked down, which means in a worst case scenario, you could lose 8,000 or more ears. In a best case scenario, 4,000 ears. The loss of ears on spiked down kernels is by far the biggest thing we see every year when we're doing service calls on marginal stands. Plants with aborted ears are weeds, stealing nutrients, water, and sunlight. Now, paying attention to soil conditions instead of the calendar is usually not the difference between success and failure. It's where we add 10 to 15 bushel to the yield without increasing the cost. We do need to be ready to plant when the light is green. We recommend growers get all of those first day willies out of the way in a yellow light, so when it turns green, they can run hard. We recommend that growers are set up to plant all their corn in 5 to 7 working days. It may take a month to get 5 to 7 good days to plant. That is 5 to 7 days in what an operation typically calls a day. For some, that's a 12-hour day. Other of you guys, that's a 24-hour day you plant around the clock. If you can't get planted in 5 to 7 days, you need to increase your capacity or you're going to have to plant in the yellow lights as well as the green lights. We recommend halting on red lights. Now, when it comes to yellow lights, all we're saying is the forecast suggests one of the 2 things required for a green light is missing: loss of plants to seed chilling or the loss of the ears on the spiked down plants. Each farm operation needs to take that into consideration and make planting decisions accordingly. By the calendar, we'd like to have all our corn planted by April 22nd here in central Illinois. But if we give up 20 bushel the day we put it in the ground, we could wait to get a green light. So with all that said, here are the planting updates. Jacksonville, Illinois, we're going to stay green until Sunday noon, May 10th. We're going to switch to yellow, going back to green on Monday noon. Both models agree on the Sunday night cool down. Based on our dealing with Mother Nature's Mother's Day massacre 5 out of the last 7 years, I would say let planter operators be wary. Apparently Mother Nature doesn't like us planting on Mother's Day. Here in the 136 corridor, we're green until Sunday noon, going yellow till Monday noon, and then going back green after that. Northern Illinois, we're yellow through Friday noon, May 8th, and then we're going green until Sunday noon, May 10th. Back to yellow till Tuesday noon, May 12th, due to the seed chilling. Noon on Tuesday to Wednesday noon, May 13th, we'll be back green. Wednesday noon to Thursday noon, back to yellow for seed chilling, and then green going forward. Iowa City customers, yellow light through Friday, May 8th, turning to green through Sunday, May 10th, then back to yellow until noon Monday for the Mother's Day cool down, then back to green on Monday. Watch those overnight forecasts for expected lows. If they're dipping below 45 at night, stop planting at noon to reduce the risk of seed chilling. For our growers up in Cresco, Iowa, red light till Friday noon, then going to a green light until noon on Saturday, May 9th. Going to, again, a yellow light Saturday noon to Monday noon, May 11th, then going green from there forward. Here too, watch those nighttime forecasts. If they dip to 45, shut her down by noon. Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, we're going to stay red till Friday, then going green Saturday noon. Back to yellow Saturday noon through Monday, May 11th, and then back to green going forward. Again, pay attention to your local forecast on those nighttime temperatures. Hope all that clears up some questions on planting systems. If your neighbors are still confused, maybe just have them give us a call here at the office and we'll walk them through it. We're going to plant corn here at Corn College campus today and tomorrow on our green light. Most all of our soybeans are already planted here in our plots. Our Farm Journal Corn Soybean College will be on July 21st and 22nd. Registration is open at our website, croptechinc.com. The crew is finishing up the spring testing, and they'll be rolling right into the summer testing. So be sure to get your orders turned in so they can sample your ground when they're in the area. To stay up to date, check out our website at croptechinc.com and subscribe to our podcast, Boots in the Field Report. Keep her safe, keep her moving.